but I just signed the largest trade deal in history. I think maybe the largest deal in history with Japan.
30 years of free trade across North America virtually wiped out by a single executive order.
Of course, I don't think anyone could have foreseen this happening.
There are all kinds of unintended consequences that will fall into place.
With time, it will become apparent that these actions will end up hurting American workers.
What if I told you, gentlemen, that America simply gave Canada control of its crown jewel sector with a single signature and a single piece of paper? What if I told you that Windsor, Ontario, is about to emerge as North America's new automotive center, and Detroit, the motor city that has represented American industrial strength for more than a century, is on the verge of becoming a ghost town? What if I told you that a strategy intended to preserve American auto employment really cost us millions of car sales and drove our largest trading partner, Mexico, into the arms of the United States? I'm sure you would think I was nuts. Hold on tight, because that's just what occurred just now. And the majority of Americans don't know. Here's what the evening news doesn't tell you. President Trump signed an executive order on April 3rd, 2025, that not only rocked the auto sector, but blew it up. A 25% tax on all car parts and vehicles imported. Overnight, the cost of every vehicle, truck, and part that crosses our border increased by 25%. It's protection for American workers, the White House said. They claimed it would restore jobs to the heartland, Michigan, and Detroit. The question that should keep all Americans up at night, though, is this one. What occurs if your treatment turns out to be more lethal than the illness? Because the family SUV you had planned to purchase for $30,000 suddenly become a luxury piece at $40,000. Your child needs that dependable Honda Civic for college. Don't think about it. This is where you should be terrified. Our northern neighbors are having a party while American families are being priced out of the automobile market. Allow me to give you an overview of the current state of dealerships. In America, dealers I spoke with had clients willing to spend $80,000 on trucks. When those trucks reached $100,000, the same customers left. Overnight, $20,000 was added, and then it was gone. While dealers pay ever-increasing borrowing rates to keep the lights on, those trucks sit on lots collecting dust. Consider this. We're not discussing expensive autos for the wealthy. Work trucks for contractors, dependable sedans for families, and reasonably priced automobiles for young individuals just starting their careers are all gone and out of reach. For every working American, however, here is where it becomes personal. The first year saw the loss of 40,000 car jobs. 40,000 families are concerned about how they will continue to have health insurance, feed their children, and pay their mortgages. In Lafayette, Indiana, the exact people this policy was intended to protect, the Subaru manufacturing workers are receiving pink slips. The first individuals cast overboard are the exact folks Trump claimed to be saving. Gentlemen, it's not only the car workers. Truck drivers are the ones that lack the funds to upgrade their rigs. Small business owners are the ones whose shipping expenses have skyrocketed. Families are the ones who cannot afford auto repairs because parts are now 25% more expensive. Now, what do you think our rivals are doing that America is putting itself in a bad position? Feeling sorry for us while sitting around? Absolutely not. They're outpacing a NASCAR pit crew in speed. Japan suffered some setbacks. I'll grant you that. Nissan suffered a $4.5 billion loss. They had to fire 20,000 workers and shut down 7 facilities across the globe. However, you should be terrified of what they did next. They turned around. They were rerouting supplies from America to Canada in a matter of weeks. They began establishing industrial networks that avoid us entirely. Japan was not harmed by us. They can't rely on America, we taught them. Instead of being a client, we made them a rival. And Canada, oh Canada, was anticipating this. In a matter of days, gentlemen, a corresponding 25% levy was imposed on American automobiles by Prime Minister Carney. This is when the genius comes in. To seize our auto industry, they transferred all of the tariff money into a $2 billion fund. Windsor, Ontario, will become the next Detroit with $2 billion. Consider that. We destroyed free trade in an attempt to defend Detroit. Thanks for the opening, Canada said. We'll proceed from this point. However, this is the section that ought to make you furious. Trump's tariffs are not merely a betrayal to American consumers. He also betrayed American corporations. Ford. In just 3 months, Ford, the most American automaker, was slammed with $800 million in tariff expenses. Let me reiterate that. We imposed tariffs on our own businesses. Japanese negotiators, meanwhile, were astute enough to lower their levies to 15%. Thus, nowadays, the price difference between a Ford made in Detroit and a Toyota built in Japan is between $5 and $10,000. Gentlemen, we did not level the playing field. We skewed it in our favor. Additionally, the stock of Tesla, the symbol of American invention, fell 5% in a single day. According to analysts, if this continues, they may collapse in 3 years. We are witnessing the demise of American automakers due to a policy that was meant to protect them. However, this is the query that no one in Washington wants to answer. To respond. How does wrecking American business serve to defend it? Allow me to provide you with some figures that will make your head spin. For the first time in 30 years, Canada just imported more automobiles from Mexico than the U.S. Gentlemen, 30 years. American automobile dominance over the past 30 years is over. There will likely be 2 million fewer cars sold in America each year. 2 million. That goes beyond spreadsheet figures. That's the eradication of entire communities. Because of these tariffs, Moody's just cut America's credit rating for the first time ever. Your credit cards, auto loan, and mortgage will all have higher interest rates as a result. Working-class Americans are paying more for everything as a result of the policy that was meant to benefit them. Windsor, Ontario is booming while we're losing clients and employment. Decades-old supply systems are dismantling and heading north. Gentlemen, our auto industry was not stolen by Canada. On a silver platter, we presented it to them. What politicians don't want you to know is this. Tariffs aren't the main issue here. This has to do with trust. We created the most effective automotive supply chain in history for 30 years. Some parts crossed boundaries more than once. Workers from Mexico, Canada, and the United States were all a part of a single, large, interconnected system. Because everyone believed that the rules wouldn't alter suddenly, it worked. Overnight, we then modified the rules. The identical issue that Canada posed is now being asked by all of our allies. What happens if the United States decides to use trade as a weapon once more? All of them are creating contingency plans. They're all decreasing their reliance on us. All of them are getting ready for the moment when America is America alone. And you are aware of the tragedy? All of this could have been avoided. We had the option to bargain. We might have discovered focused fixes. Rather than going to war with our allies, we could have cooperated with them. We decided to go nuclear instead. And it annihilated everything, including us, just like all nuclear weapons do. Gentlemen, allow me to ask you a question. At what point did defending American business turn into a synonym for destroying it? At what point did America begin to mean America last? Because as I write this, American auto manufacturers are closing and Canadian plants are hiring. While manufacturing in Michigan are closing, those in Mexico are growing. We neglected to take care of our clients because we were too busy trying to hurt our rivals. Additionally, consumers have options in a free market. They decided to go shopping elsewhere. The bottom line is as follows. Gentlemen, we lost more than just a trade war. Something much more valuable was lost. Our standing as a trustworthy partner was damaged. Our closest allies no longer trusted us. The jewel in the crown of American industry was lost. Detroit is a symbol, not just a city. Additionally, that symbol is moving north. What will we do about it is the question. Will we intensify our efforts to implement policies that are obviously ineffective? Or will we acknowledge that perhaps, just possibly, destroying relationships isn't the best approach to gain influence and make friends? Leave your comments below. Are these tariffs worth it, in your opinion? Are we witnessing the end of American automotive dominance, or can America regain its auto industry? If you're interested